Usually, parents will be super excited about this time of the year. It's August and it's time for back to school. It's time for school. Back to school. Back to school. It's time for school. It's time for school. They going back. They going back. Hallelujah, they going back to school. But this year, back to school means that
they still ain't your house.
I cannot. Oh my gosh. Don't worry, y'all. I got your back. As you know, I'm a teacher, so I'm getting a lot of questions from family and friends. Like, Alana, what does back to school at home look like? How do I help my child get through this virtual learning time? What things do I need to buy? Where do I get it from? Well, you're in luck. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to set your kids up for success for virtual school. The journey starts here. So many of you have probably gotten details from your school district on how you all will be starting school this year. In this video, we're going to talk about some things that you can do to set your child up for success in the virtual world. So I've identified 4 major topics that we're going to discuss today. The first one is the importance of creating a schedule. Now, your district will probably send you some suggestions and guidelines for how they'll do schooling. This is a good time to mention that the suggestions I share today are my own and do not necessarily reflect those of my current school district. Please consult your local school district for more specific information. There are 2 terms that we're going to talk about today that are going to be very important for you to know. The first one is synchronous learning. Synchronous simply means real-time instruction given by a teacher on an online platform, either through Zoom, Skype, Microsoft Teams, or Google Meets. In synchronous learning, your child has to be in front of the computer while the teacher is teaching. This is where most direct instruction will take place. It is important that you create your schedule so that your child can have access to a computer at those specific times so they can get the necessary instruction needed. Based on your district and the subject, this synchronous time can last anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. The second term that you need to know is asynchronous. In my district, there's time allotted in the school day for asynchronous learning to happen. This is a time where students can complete projects, work on assignments, work on review skills, and even meet with their teacher individually. Both synchronous and asynchronous learning is important so that students can effectively balance their time between screen time and time working independently. There is a ton of research that's been done on the attention span of students. A general rule of thumb is the child's age plus 2 is the amount of minutes that they can stay focused on one thing. So, for example, my 7-year-old, after 9 minutes, she will need some type of change in her instruction, whether it's the learning style, the activity, the mode of transmission, or simply a stretch break. If this is a problem for your child, there are some ways that you can extend their attention span. For example, if they're writing a paper on sea turtles, you can bring in colors, markers, or even paint to have them to illustrate their writing in a creative way. Another way to extend your child's attention span is to put something in their hands for them to manipulate. This can be something as simple as Play-Doh, a fidget spinner. There's even a company called Pinch Me that makes therapy dough that's scented in lavender, which could help reduce your child's stress and anxiety as they work. Another thing that you'll want to do is check in regularly with your kids. Even though they'll be working with the teacher, it really helps for you to check in on them to see if they understand everything, if their technology is working fine, or if they have any questions. And finally, build in breaks as much as you can. Give them an opportunity to stretch, loosen their limbs, and get moving. The next big category that we're going to discuss is supplies. Just like with regular school, you want to make sure that you have all the supplies your kids will need at home. Here's a list of things that you want to make sure that you have in stock. Another thing that your child will need is some type of large paper to display information on throughout their workspace. We call these anchor charts. For your anchor charts, you can use large chart paper, copy paper, or even a manila folder that's been opened. This will help your child to readily access information quickly and efficiently. Let's talk real quick about the devices that you'll need. If you are in a school district that is providing laptops or tablets to your kids, Thank goodness. This is going to be so helpful for you and your child in distance learning. Whenever I homeschooled my kids, I had to purchase individual HP Chromebooks for them. I decided to purchase these Chromebooks because they didn't require I purchase any additional software. Everything that they needed for a Chromebook is already built in. If a laptop or tablet will not be provided to you by your district and you're unable to purchase your own, no fear. You can utilize your iPhone to help you to connect to the various online platforms and get the information that you need for your child to be successful. Furthermore, there are some school districts that are providing paper packets for their students to be able to get the same information. Next, make sure your child has access to a good pair of headphones with a mic. They're going to need these in order to hear the teacher well and be able to communicate with them. Finally, if possible, you may want to invest in a printer. That way, if there's anything that you need to print off or scan and send in, you can do so quickly without making a run to Office Depot. The third thing that we're going to talk about today is the importance of setting up a designated space for your kids to work. I'm actually shooting this video in our upstairs playroom that I've converted into their classroom. Designating a place for your child to work is probably one of the most important things in a home learning situation. Remember, your child is used to working in a controlled environment that's free from television and outside distractions. So you want to create a space like that in your home for them. Make sure the space that you create provides enough room for them to get up and move, as well as enough room for them to work. Whenever I decided to do homeschool a few years ago, I purchased these student desks off of Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. These desks allow them to have their own personal space that they can customize to their liking. If you're not able to secure desks, then just use a table. Point being, they need a place specifically for them that's consistent, that they can go to every day and they know what's going to happen when they're there. Now, you also want to make sure your space has good lighting. We use the overhead lighting as well as a lamp to help to make sure that they can see clearly. Speaking of light, because your child will have 1 to 2 hours of screen time each day, you want to make sure that you're protecting their eyes. I know that during the summer when I had to do online work, by the end of the day, my eyes were tired and I had an extreme headache. A friend of mine suggested that I purchase blue light glasses. I know you're wondering, what are blue light glasses? Basically, these glasses block out the harmful blue lights that come from your computer screen. I purchased these glasses from a company called Meet Sun. They're non-prescription and one size fits all. They were 2 for $15. It reduces my eye soreness and no more headaches. Worth it. I may not be making a fashion statement, but it's worth it. And the last big rock that I'm going to share with you today is the importance of creating a learning community. Y'all, the worst thing that you can do right now is suffer in silence. Team up with other families that could help support you all during this time. If you are a working parent and are unable to supervise your child at home, think about creative ways that you can blend families together, safely of course, in one household with a parent that can supervise the learning and instruction happening each day. Maybe you can even create a rotation schedule where the kids go from house to house each week. Also, utilize social media to help you connect with other parents who could help you make sense of the curriculum as well as district expectations. Don't be afraid to request meetings with your child's teachers if you have questions or concerns. But most importantly, give yourself, your child, and your child's teacher some grace during this time. Y'all, we're building this plane as we're flying it, and we don't have all the answers, but we're all in this together, and we're not just going to get over it, we're going to get through this. I hope that answered some of the questions that you had about learning from home. If you have more questions, comment down below, or if you're interested in homeschooling your child, I, along with a few of my friends, have some experience in that area and would love to share more information with you. Thank you so much for watching today. Remember, your journey is worth it.